Happy 2024, everyone. So if you're able to see this video, that simply means that God isn't finished with you yet. You still have work left on this earth to do. So I promised myself that this year I would focus more on doing videos, cooking videos, since that really is my passion, um, and try to build up my Facebook following, um, my Facebook following followers. So today is New Year's, and on my menu today, of course, we have those infamous black-eyed peas. I have some pork neck bones that'll be coming, some cabbage, and some cornbread. I think I'm not. I don't think I'm going to make a dessert today. I'm all pretty much deserted out from Thanksgiving and Christmas, so I think I'm just going to make a meal today. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning my neck bones, and I'll show you how I do that. So start my water on warm, a little bit more than room temperature. And this is just regular distilled vinegar. I like to add distilled vinegar to my water. It helps to get rid of a lot of the impurities that may have accumulated on the meat during the packaging process. So I have 2 packs of beautiful pork neck bones. Let me show you what they look like. These babies are pretty. Tell me they're not. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how I clean these, and we'll just take it step by step. So like I said, I use vinegar. I've heard of people using lemon juice, citrus, lime, whatever, but I use vinegar. I always have that. I have lime and stuff as well, but I'm always using vinegar. It just works best for me. And it works best for me pretty much on any type of meat that you need to clean. So let's get started. These are pretty big too. I'm going to tell you, I have a recipe for these. OMG. It is really good. I have a coworker at work who loves my neck bones. So, get these cleaned. Once I get them cleaned, I'm going to get them rinsed really well. And I'm going to get them seasoned up. And you can already tell the murkiness of my water. The water is just already murky from the impurities that that's on this meat. And I have this big, pretty much bowl over here. As I clean them, I'll put them in the bowl and I'll get them rinsed off again. And see all this fat? I'm going to take that off. We don't want to eat that. It's really important to me to get your meats clean. You will notice the difference if you put vinegar in your water when you're cleaning these. You will immediately notice the difference in your water once you you get the neck bones or whatever meat you're making off in there, you'll see just how much stuff comes off of these. These are oven baked neck bones. I do mine in the oven, and I'm telling you, when I get through with these babies, the meat falls off the bone. Take this knife, get that fat off. I cook them low and slow. I'm not exactly sure the cooking time. I don't really remember that, but once they're done, I'll mention that at the end of my video or at some point in this video to let you know. But again, everybody's ovens cook differently, so you know, don't make neck bones and I cook mine 4 hours and they're done, and you cook yours 4 hours and they're not, and you say, well, you said 4 hours. I said everybody's oven cooks differently. Your oven may cook differently than mine. I have gas, and I'm not exactly sure if everybody cooking has gas, so I would just suggest that when you're making these, after several hours, maybe 3 hours, you stick a fork in it to see, you know, if the meat is tender. Or if it starts falling off the bone, you know it's tender. Get that fat off. You know, we come from processing plants, and you know, we don't know the cleanliness of those plants or how the meat has been handled. But I tell you one thing, baby, if you use vinegar, that is going to clean that. So I got that. I'm getting ready to do I'm getting ready to rinse those, but I just want to show you guys this. I want you to see the dirt, the impurities that came off that. And you can see it in there, and that's just gross. All of that came off. And if you use vinegar in your water, it will bring out all of this yucky stuff. Just imagine if you just rinse this off underwater, you're going to eat all of this yucky stuff. No. That's not how we do it over here. So again, let me get all this yuck out of my sink. So now my sink is clean. I'm just putting in water now. And I'm going to wash these babies until this water is clean. And there are no impurities in it. And even now, even after all of that I went through with that vinegar, let me let this water out because this water is still not clear clean. Okay. Alright, let's do rinse number 2. Alright, now this is what I'm talking about. Yep. These bones are clean now. My initial thought was today to make some black-eyed peas and some pig feet, but I had these beautiful neck bones. I said I'm going to go ahead and make these neck bones, and I'll do some pig feet later. But I'm going to tell you guys, yesterday I went out because, and you know what, I'm a city girl, but I'm a country cook. And I tell you, yesterday I went out and I found me some beef tripe. When I get ready to cook that, I'm going to do a video. You guys have to see that. If you've never had beef tripe, you'll like it depending on the way that you make it. Now, most people know tripe for Hispanic dishes like menudo or something like that, but not. When you get through frying that tripe up, if you like chitterlings, because tripe is the intestine of the cow, whereas chitterling is the intestines of the pig. So, if you like chitterlings, and they don't taste like chitterlings, you fry these up, make a fried tripe sandwich. Oh my God. But that's for another day. So now that I've got my my neck bones all clean and washed, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prep my veggies. I'm going to go ahead and prep those, and then when I come back, they'll be prepped, and I'll give you the measurements, and we'll start from there. All right, I am back. So at this point, I've gotten my veggies prepped. I've gotten an aluminum pan that I'm going to use to put these in the oven. I have my oven preheated to 350. I'm going to bake these in the oven for 45 minutes on 350, and then I'm going to turn the heat down, turn the oven down to 325, and let them cook really slowly until they're ready. So what I'm about to do now is I'm about to season them. And you know what? The thing is, I will probably have to use 2 of these little pans because I didn't think I had a bigger one out there. So I'll use these 2. But what I'm doing is I'm layering them in this pan so that I can make sure that I get good seasoning on all these, because it's all about the flavor. Alright, so I got these in here for now. So, and I'm going to have to get another one of these out of the cabinet, so I'll do that last. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use onion powder. And let me just say this with seasonings. When you buy seasonings, try to get the seasonings that are salt-free, because this way you're able to control the amount of salt that goes into your food and into your body. Because the thing about it is, if you season with seasonings that have a lot of salt and then you go in there and you add salt, that's too much. I'm not trying to have a stroke, or over here I'm already eating pork. The last thing I want to do is croak because I've had too much sodium. I put too much sodium. But yeah, try to get salt-free seasonings and just add your salt. That way you're able to control it yourself. So the next thing I'm going to use is I have some dark chili powder. And don't forget, you know, this is just layer of flavor. I mean, I'm sorry. Y'all see my t-shirt? Layers and layers of flavor. And you know, even though these are neck bones and there's a bone on the back, you still need to season that back part. Still season that bone. Still season the bone, because the flavor comes from these bones. That's why it's better to, you know, when I get chicken, I'd rather have chicken with the bone in. I'm not too big on you know, chicken without the bone. That's where your flavor comes from, that bone. So I'm getting all of these seasoned up. And you know what? Once I get these seasoned, I'm going to run outside and see if I have a bigger pan, because I would prefer to have a bigger pan. I love this Badia complete seasoning. This is really good. I'm telling you, these neck bones will make you, I'm not going to say slap your mama, because I don't want nobody slapping on their parents. But this is really good. So I'm getting these all seasoned up, front and back. Okay. Next, I got some smoked paprika, just to give it a little of that smokiness. Because you know we are cooking it in the oven, and I cook for flavor. I mean, you know, I cook a lot of soul food, and you know, people really don't know what soul food is, you know. And you know, I don't know that there's a complete definition for it, but I just think anything that comes from the soul, you're cooking it, you know, with feelings. I mean, anybody can say soul food. I've had some stuff at restaurants, they say soul food. I'm like, oh, well, you know where they stole from. So, anyway. Next, black pepper. Okay. This right here is garlic pepper. This is very good. I have another one in the cabinet. I'm gonna have to get it out because I got another pan of these neck bones over here that need to be seasoned up. So this one is almost gone. I really don't know where I got this from, but I have to make sure I say this little container so I can look on the internet. Okay. The thing about it, these seasonings do not have a lot of salt. When you're looking for seasonings, if you look on the ingredient and the first ingredient out there says salt, that lets you know that that seasoning is loaded with salt. So I have some sea salt that I'm just going to sprinkle some on here. And I'm not gonna put any on the back because the salt is pretty much that don't stick on the meat. It's falling in the pan, so I don't need it. And the bones are facing the bottom. Okay, so give me a quick second. Let me change pans because I want to put all of these in one pan. So give me a minute. All right, so I didn't have an aluminum pan, but I do have a real pan that's big enough for me to put all of these in. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have 3/4 cup of beef broth. You can use chicken if you don't have beef, just your preference. You don't want to put a whole bunch in there, so I just have 3/4 of a cup. In this, I have a whole onion that I chopped up, and I kind of did it rustic because I'm going to, you know, have the meat on top, and because this cooks for a long time, it's pretty much going to disintegrate anyway. I have a half of a red bell pepper, and I also have half of a green bell pepper as my veggies. This right here, these neck bones are off the chain. After the 45 minutes of cooking, you're gonna make a roux that goes on the stove top, a roux from the stove top, and then you're going to take these out and you're going to incorporate that roux into these neck bones because that roux is gonna actually be your gravy. It's gonna make your gravy. So I've layered the bell peppers, onions in here. So I'm going to go ahead and put these neck bones in here. And you know what? I'm putting the bone side down just so that you know. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get these other ones seasoned up. And then I'm going to cover them and get them in the oven. So I'm going to put this over here. All right, I thought I had another one in here. So this is brand new. Okay. So I'll go ahead with the remainder of these. Get them seasoned up. And I'm going to get them in the oven. And then I'm going to start on my black-eyed peas. I don't know if I told you guys that earlier, but my black-eyed peas is going in the oven too. I'm going to put them in a Dutch oven pot. And I'm going to let them cook in there as well. So let's get these seasoned up. Garlic. This is onion powder. Front and back. Front and back. Don't forget that bone. So last night was New Year's Eve. We stayed in. I was asleep before the New Year. But, you know, I prayed that God would allow me to see a New Year. I was just tired. I've lost a couple of really good friends over these holidays, and it's kind of been a little stressful for me. But I know that God is not finished with me yet. He has my back. So I'm going to put some of this dark chili powder on here. And again, like I said, you don't have to use the seasonings that I use. That's another thing about cooking. Everybody's palate is different. And you might not like the same seasonings that I like, but it's about the process of making the food. So, I mean, you can do your own seasonings. Do your own seasonings and just follow the process. Because the process is what's going to get you good. But You shouldn't avoid seasoning your food because, I mean, unless you just like bland food, but bland soul food is not about bland food. Okay, this is the body. It really smells good, and it ain't even saw the oven. All right, this is my garlic pepper. All right, I'm gonna get some ground pepper already ground, so I have to refill this little canister up. Okay. And salt. Like I said, I'm not putting salt on the back because it's going in a pan anyway. And the bones are at the back. All right. So I have all of the, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. Forgot my smokiness, my smoky paprika. Now, this is going on the front and the back. Smoked paprika smells so good. All right. So let me kind of scoot this stuff out of the way. This garbage is empty. Get all my little seasonings out of the way so I can bring this pan back over here. Layer these. And you know what? It seems like it's so much, but y'all know they are neck bones. There's a lot of bones in here, so it ain't like you getting blue coops of meat. All right, let me rinse my hands. All right, and as I said earlier, I'm going to put this in the oven on 350 for 45 minutes, and then I'm going to reduce the time, reduce the temperature. And you want to put foil over them if you don't have a lid that fits your pan. I don't have a lid that fits this particular pan. This aluminum foil looks fine. I will set my timer to remind me when 45 minutes is up because I'll be doing something else and forget. Alright, so I have those in the oven and I will bake them for 45 minutes, and then the next thing I will do is I'm going to go over to the stove and make a roux. Once the 45 minutes expire, I will pull those out of the oven and I will incorporate the roux that I've made, as well as 2 tablespoons of flour. I will just sprinkle it over, and I will pour another third cup to a full cup of beef broth in my pan. and I will continue to let them cook until they're done. The roux, along with the beef broth and the additional flour, will create a really, really good gravy. So give me a minute and let's go over to the stove and start the roux. All right, so I'm here to do my roux, and I'll have the roux made, and should be pretty much right on time. So I have my burner on, and one thing about making a roux is you pretty much have to babysit it, because if the roux burns, then you're pretty much going to have to start over. I don't think you want to put a burnt roux, which is pretty much a burnt gravy, into, you know, your food. So what I have here is I have a 1/4 cup of oil, which is pretty much 2 ounces, in my skillet. And if you ever made gumbo, you pretty much do this roux the same way. You don't let it get as dark as you would a gumbo roux. And one thing about roux is the ratio is 1:1. So if I'm using a 1/4 cup of oil, I'm using a 1/4 cup of flour. And we're just going to get this incorporated until it's a light brown. And what we're doing is we're letting this flour taste cook out of this roux. So it may take about 7 or 8 minutes. I'm not exactly sure how long it'll take to get this the color that I want, because like I said, I never really measured it. And as you see it starting to brown, you'll know that it's getting where you want it. But this is it. This is the color that I want this roux to be. So I'm going to put this roux over here. Baby, I tell you, these neck bones are going to be good. Yummy. All right, so I got that to the side. Let me rinse this off real quick. Extra virgin olive oil in here to saute them. Get them a little bit. Let them get that a little hot. You can use smoked turkey if you want to. If you want to use a ham hock, that's strictly up to you. So I have a 1/2 cup of green red bell pepper and a whole onion. And I'm going to put a teaspoon of garlic, minced garlic, in here. And I'm going to saute this. And then get my stuff going. And the thing about it is, with my black eyed peas, I don't start seasoning them until they've actually, you know, started to boil. That's when I add my seasonings. I don't add my seasonings in the beginning. But if you want to, I mean, by all means. When I cook to my liking. I mean, like I said, you can always use the technique of me making it, but you know, put your own twist on it, put your own little spin on it. So, getting those softened. Let me get my little Dutch oven. So this is a 3-quart Dutch oven. It's not really big. I have a double oven in my kitchen. Thank God for that, because that way I can do multiple things at one time. Because most people don't cook their black-eyed peas in the oven. But I'm going to tell you, that's what I'm going to do, because you'll see when they come out. I have fresh black-eyed peas. I couldn't find any in the bag, the dried ones, but I found the fresh ones. And this is just as good. Okay. So I was rinsing those off. Still getting these sauteed. And what I use is, I love me some Better Than Bouillon. If you guys have not tried this stuff, I've tried all of them, the culinary ones as well. Of course, I love this, and this stuff is good. If you don't have time to be making a stock, and you talk about flavor, but one thing I will tell you about the Better Than Bouillon, it's good, but it has a lot of salt. So that's another reason why when you're cooking with Better Than Bouillon, make sure that you taste, and you should always, that's a part of cooking, you should taste your food as you go along. But don't over season your stuff with salt, because that Better Than Bouillon has a lot of salt in it. If I'm not mistaken, with this Better Than Bouillon, you add 1 teaspoon of Better Than Bouillon to every 8 ounces of water. So, you know what, these are soft enough, because like I said, they're going into the oven. So what I'm going to do now is I'm transferring these to my Dutch oven. Smells so good. I'm going to start off with, this is a measuring cup of, this is 2 cups. So I'm going to start out with 2 cups of water. If you have broth, actually I'm going to start off with 2 cups of broth. I'm going to use some of this beef broth that I have left over, because I got this big old container and I don't really want to put this in the refrigerator. So I'm going to start off with, and I will probably end up using about 4 or 5 cups of water. But when you put this in the oven, you need to make sure that you watch it to make sure that your water, your liquid hasn't evaporated. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. And with that, like I said, with the Better Than Bouillon, I gotta get some more. I'm almost out of this chicken one. This is my favorite one. I know I'm gonna have to add more water, so I'll go ahead. Okay. Definitely gonna need some more. Oh, yeah, I keep saying water. Definitely gonna. So I'm gonna use about 4 cups of this, and if I need to use some more liquid, I may add water. But I still got enough for this, I think, for 1 more cup. Yeah. So that's good. So I'm going to stir this until I get my bouillon. Let me turn my burner back on, because I want this bouillon to dissolve. And I'm telling y'all, that bouillon gives this a good flavor. Let me get me a couple of bay leaves, because you will need some bay leaves. So I'm gonna use a couple. I'm gonna use about 3. 1, 2, 3. Use 3 bay leaves in there. You know, people say, I don't know, I can't really tell the difference I can't really tell if a bay leaf makes that much of a difference, because I've cooked without them, and to be honest with you, I couldn't tell the difference. So, you know, but you get used to doing stuff, and then you start tripping, and you're thinking that it's making a difference when it probably really. Got my black-eyed peas rinsed and everything, so I'm going to put them in here. Now, you need to make sure that you do have enough liquid to cover your black-eyed peas. Make sure that they're submerged. And any smoked meat that you decide to use, this is the part of the fat part of the wing. So I'm gonna put that in there, because I tell you, that's flavor, nothing but flavor. All right, so I'm gonna put this top on here, and I got my oven preheating to 350. All right, so I just took the neck bones out of the oven after 40. Turn my oven down to 325, because that's what I'm going to cook these on until they are completely done. So this is what they look like after just 45 minutes. So I'm going to take these out, set them over here till I get my roux blended in. Man, they smell good. This seasoning make them look like they're done, but I can tell you these are not done by a long shot. All right, so this is my roux. And this is the way you do it. You mix your roux in. You use a spatula, you can get it all out. That's some good stuff. And I'm going to use the remainder of my broth, because, like I told you earlier, this is my gravy. That was about a cup. So I got that in. Just a second. So now I'm going to put my neck bones back in. So you can see. I'm gonna make some cornbread from scratch. Cornbread, black-eyed peas, some cabbage, and I think I'm gonna make some rice. I'm almost positive I'll make some rice. Because you gotta have something with this gravy, I'm telling you. Trying to get these. These to be in here a good way. And then after I cook these, after these are in the oven, I would say maybe an hour, I'm going to flip them over. But you know what, actually I'm going to flip them down, since I've had the opportunity of letting them cook the 45 minutes with the bone down. I'm going to go ahead and flip them now. I think this makes better sense to do it this way. And like I said before, when you're cooking, make it your own. I mean, it just came to me, you know, why, you know, continue to let them cook on the bone, flip them over so this meat can start absorbing this juice and gravy and getting all delicious. My last one in here. That in there. Flip that over. Flip that over like that. Gotta make sure I fit. This is like a puzzle. I want them to be fitted properly. That's good. All right, so I'm going to take, and I'm just going to sprinkle it like that. And you know what? I'm gonna do a tablespoon at a time. Normally I do 2 tablespoons, but I'm gonna do a tablespoon at a time. That's also good for your thickener. So with that being said, this goes back into the oven. Like I said, I turn my oven down to 325. Make sure you got these wrapped tight, either with a top or some foil. And 8 a.m. I'm going to check these again at 10:38. And at that particular time, I can check my gravy as well. And if I need to add a little bit more broth, I can do so at that time. I'll taste it to see if I need to add any more seasonings, because like I said, the gravy is, you know, you're going to put that gravy over those neck bones. So you want to make sure that that gravy is seasoned and tasting good as well. All right, y'all. So it's going to be a couple of hours with this stuff cooking. So I will come back once everything is halfway done or 3/4 of the way done, especially with those black-eyed peas, because I do want you to see what I'm talking about by cooking them in the oven. So I will check with you later. All right, guys. So I've taken my neck bones out of the oven. I think they're done. So what I'm about to do is, I have this Dutch oven over here. I'm about to transfer them to this Dutch oven so I can turn the oven off, and when we get ready to eat, we can just eat. But I want you to see what it looks like. So let me get some tongs. All right. And this gravy, oh my God, this gravy. Look at here. I'm gonna have to get some more tongs, like I said earlier. Talk about falling off the bone. That just fell off the bone. This is what I'm talking about with this gravy. Oh my God. And it's got these onions and bell pepper. You take this bone, this little bone off. It fell off. I want y'all to see these, to see this gravy. I'm gonna get a strainer so that I can strain the gravy. Strain this gravy over these bones. I tell you, this is some good stuff. So y'all, that is the end of my oven roasted neck bones. Turn it up like this so you can see. Let me see if I can move this to get a close up. Tell me that don't look good. Yum. So, neck bones, rice, cabbage, black-eyed peas. This is the beginning and the end of our New Year's meal. I'm going to let you see those black-eyed peas before I end this video. Give me a second. This is the end of the black-eyed peas. I wanted you to see it since I put that butter in there. Look how creamy these are. Look at there. You could not get much better than that. So Happy New Year, everyone. Be safe. Eat your black-eyed peas for prosperity and wealth. And as I stated earlier, I'm going to try to do more videos this year in 2024. My goal is to do maybe at least one a week, whether it be cooking or baking. So until then, Happy New Year. Bye-bye.